misinformation to be passed to the public. So our role is to provide proactive information, countering disinformation and misinformation. One of the initiatives we took is the MANSA KUNDA, the Ministerial Town Hall, to bring government officials, particularly ministers and their entire sector staff, to interface with the public, and they can discuss. So the public is aware and is informed about what the particular sectors are doing, but also the sectors can answer questions that the public might deem to be very important questions, raising concerns as well. So today is going to be very interesting, and we are looking forward to the discussions. We will start with the Minister to come and give a 15-20 minutes presentation about the ministry's achievements, projects and programs. Then we will introduce members of the high table, his entire team. I'll give them 4 or 5 minutes to introduce themselves, their designation, but also role in their functions in the sector. Mbadingol mbal tentula mbal jela mbal kontona bake fang mbal nimbarala mbal jala bi nyimman sakunda mi anon ko bi ngol so jang nadun tambadu ngamin so bi ka fay honorable Baboucarr Ousmane Joof atalo ministre mi alon ka tele marta din kerala mi alon ko lo ministre ka fa milbe mararing jula kuola aning kaje ko bankol mi alon ko wolbe Africa jang ika jula ko ke nyaadi le aning do kubunda fanang surtout fonding kala do kubunda telo ministre mi maral wol bela wodon ba jela bake fa me molbe kontonna milbe jambi mi alon ko bota man sakunda surtout mi alon ko telo wara minister of trade aning minister of information journalist milbe jambi mbadingol mi alon ko wolbe Gambia jang aning bantal bankon kang ben jube kang na media partner sola television balto bedum katabe dialale akuma bawo julo mo kulta akuma da atel ka ko do fe nam bankon kang nga minister be jiajanne agriculture transport, higher education, ngebe diajane. Ba ni bela do ko naja soniata. Jula kole tamata fo ko do sidno bankon kan. Oto bi ministry min nada dambe ministry ko mari mbalon. Kon ka faale nya ministry of information tolla do ko na hamo wolon kaje ko firo kana tara mansa kunna ni banko dingol tema. Fengo fami alon ko mansa kunda bato. So manda fo suto. Tiliwo tililolum banko dingol nyanta ka londe. Mansa kunda fana nyanta ka banko dingol la wasiyo mwele ka long monela sola fengolti aning monela hayoti wala tan tol ministry ko kun kake amandi wala kan kaje ko ngama sakunda finang kaja barka bani ko banko dingol fanam finang yela wasi fo man sakunda ba man sakunda miya sindi wolon kajo ka banko dingol la hajo jara wala ni mo hajo lo ngita jara nola wala nan kanyi formal organize pour banko dingol sina isa kacha ini man sakunda ka fu ibe mona kuto aning lafta banko ita manyame woto honorable minister mbeji ala bake fang na nyim pour amoto mi an ka fay management sakunda ministerial town hall ngalom bi katabe di ala bake mba commencer la dameng dung mbe minister kumandila ay minute mwang kacha anim banku dingol apa banku dingole ala ministry abata mandi kan nyaadi la nimbodaje anim millalon ko ani wol ala do kunyo anim mbe silo kan e fanan sitol fonye ani be mon do kusi falla ministry nyinto ni o bota je fanan sinanga bundayele isaje banku dingol mi alon ko wolle bi jang anim bantala banku kan isini karoke ministre na la timo sajara mbokay di len nuyu di len dalal bu baaxa baax ci mansa kunda bi te nak amna solo bu baaxa baax parce que te am nañ ko xamne ministre bu mun liggéey am la parce que buñ ko joxe ministre bi ak légui def na lu bari li nga xamne askam bi war nañ ko xam ministre bi nak mo Baboucarr Ousmane Joof mom mo amé ministre bi nga xamné ñom ñoo yoré mbiri jula mbiri jokalante bir African integration surtout Afrique South jant fi ak li nga xamné moy mbiri xey surtout xey ndaw yi ñepp xam nañ ne xey lu am solo la parce que nit ñi suñu liggéeyut duñ mëna yor sen bopa kon ministre bu mu amé amna solo bu baaxa motax tay ñu ko dalal mom ak timam bi yeb ñim andal ñi nga xam ne ñoy natangom ñi mo liggéeyal suñ paré nañ ko jom mom ñaari fukki minute mu ñu waxtaan ak askan bi su paré ñu jox ko ñim andal ñu wax ñu ñom ñe kan ak lu ñu liggéey ci ministre bi su ko défé ñu ibi line si ku am laajte bi nga xamné mom nga bëgg laajte ministre bi nga laaj ko mom tamit mo timam ñu tontu la ñun nak ministry of information suñ liggéey mo ñu gis né réro bu mu am diganté nguur ak askan bi lépp lo xamné askan bi nak mu ngi ko joytu mu ngi ko xalaat mu ngi ko bëgg moy seen bébét nguur xam ko nguur tamit li nga bi nga moy seen ine pour askan bi ak li ñoo liggéey ak fu ñoo tek seen tanka askan bi xam ko parce que nguur askan bi la mo liggéeyal kon ki la jël liggéey mu ngi la jox kom di la jox xaal di la fay pour nga liggéeyal ko war nga ñëw wax ko si lan nga nekk su boobaa mun koo xam ndax yaa ngi def sa liggéey bu baax ndax defuloo sa liggéey comme président Barrow His Excellency wax nañu ne bëggut réeroo am diggante nguur bi askan bi moo tax ñu am programme yoo xam ne mooy yii nii comme ministre MANSA KUNDA bi ak press conference yi ñoo def kon tey dina am solo am na ministre boo xam ne mun na liggéeyam te buñ ko joxee ministre bi léegi def na jéego yu bari yoo xam ne tey secteur wu transform na waaye ñu bari xamuñ kon waaye tey lépp dina leer. Honorable Minister, we welcome you and we'll give you 20 minutes to make your presentation. Thank you.
But in English only.
Then after you, I'll give you another 5 minutes. You summarize in the
In Syrian. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Hello, Gambia. In the hall here, I'm sure we have staff of the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. And at Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, I think everyone is here. It is a pleasure being invited as a crucial, very critical ministry in this country's economic development to come and share with the public what we've been doing over the last couple of years. We thank Dr. Cisse, Honorable Minister, for this Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Service for the transformation of the ministry and the innovation we are seeing that is giving us a platform to share with the public what we do 5 days a week in that building in Independence Drive. So thank you all for your support that we really want to give account of what we are doing. The media present, members of the public, and those watching from outside the four corners of the hall. I am pleased and want to thank the Ministry of Information for organizing this very important forum for my ministry to share with the Gambian people the key programs that the ministry is implementing. I'm here with the team consisting of the permanent secretary. They'll be introduced, and heads of departments and units. The ministry's mandate, that is the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, is to formulate and implement policies and programs in the areas of trade, industry, investment, regional integration and employment to support private sector development. The ministry is also responsible for the regulation of competition, consumer protection, labor, weights and measures, and develop national standards to ensure fair trade and protect the rights of consumers, workers, and employers. The ministry also takes a lead role in trade and investment negotiations in collaboration with other stakeholders to strengthen bilateral, regional, and multilateral trade and investment cooperation to support the Gambia's development efforts. The ministry therefore coordinates regional integration issues as well as matters relating to regional and multilateral organizations such as Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, World Trade Organization, WTO, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, and International Labour Organization, ILO, and other trade-related multilateral and multinational organizations. To ensure the right policy environment to promote private sector development and create employment opportunities through trade and investment promotion, the ministry has developed and implemented a number of policies that are aligned with the National Development Plan, and these include the Gambia Trade Policy and Action Plan, the Gambia Trade Strategy and Industrial Policy, the Gambia Investment Policy, National Micro, Small, Medium Enterprise Policy, National Quality policy, a national employment policy and action plan, a national entrepreneurship policy. In addition to these policies, MOTAI has also developed and is implementing the following key strategies: National Export Strategy 2021-2025, the Gambia AFCFTA National Implementation Strategy, the Domestic Trade Strategy, and the Private Sector Development Strategy. These policies, strategies, contribute to the development of the private sector priorities in the recovery-focused National Development Plan. We have therefore developed the Ministry's medium-term plan, 2025-2028, as our strategic document for the implementing the RF NDP and the Ministry's policies and programs. The Ministry's directorates, departments, and agencies. The Ministry has the following directorates, departments, and agencies to support the implementation of its programs. We have 5 technical directorates, namely Directorate of Trade, Directorate of Industry, Investment and Enterprise, Directorate of Employment, Directorate of Regional Integration, and Directorate of Research and Policy Analysis. 2 departments, namely Department of Labor, Department of Weights and Measures. 3 agencies, namely Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, GAIPA, the Gambia Standards Bureau, and the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. I'll go through each of those one by one. Directorate of Trade and Programs. The Directorate of Trade mainly is responsible for all matters related to development and implementation of trade programs at the Ministry. This is executed through activities and projects of the Directorate. Given that trade is a cross-cutting issue, the Directorate also collaborates with other stakeholders and sectors to support the implementation of the trade programs and activities. The following are the key areas of focus for the Trade Directorate: monitoring of stocks and price levels of essential commodities. The Directorate of Trade conducts weekly monitoring of stock and price levels of essential commodities. The objective of this exercise is to ensure that the Ministry has first-hand information on the stocks and the prices of these commodities at all times for timely and informed policy decision-making. These reports enable the Ministry to engage importers and other relevant stakeholders to avoid shortages and promote price stability. Trade negotiations. The Directorate of Trade also coordinates the Gambia's participation in bilateral, regional, continental, and multilateral trade negotiations. Through these negotiations, the Gambia has signed trade cooperation agreements with the Republic of Senegal, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry, to name a few. The Gambia is also effectively participating in the AFCFTA negotiations that the country signed on 21st March 2018 and became the 22nd member state to ratify the agreement, fulfilling the 22 member state trade threshold for ratifications required for the agreement to come into effect. To ensure that the Gambia maximizes the benefits from TA, the Ministry has developed the AFCFTA National Implementation Strategy that identified the key priority sectors and products that we need to promote as a country to enhance participation in the AFCFTA. The Ministry has also established a National AFCFTA Implementation Committee to serve as a higher-level interministerial committee comprising MDAs, private sector, and civil society to support the Gambia's negotiations and implementation of the AFCFTA. Since last year, we have carried out intensive sensitization of stakeholders on AFCFTA, including Association of Gambian Manufacturers, women-owned and youth enterprises, media, Gambia Revenue Authority, customs officials, and key sectors of the economy. On She Trades Hub program, the Ministry, in partnership with the International Trade Center, is implementing a She Trades Hub in the Gambia to support women economic empowerment for enhanced participation in trade. Since the launch of the program in 2019, the Ministry is currently working with a total of 134 women-owned businesses. Under the program, the Ministry provides training on quality and packaging of products, financial and digital literacy. Ministry supports the participation of She Trade companies in trade fairs, as well as provided equipment to improve their production capacities. On the Trade Logistics Charter, the Ministry is working with key stakeholders in the logistics value chain to implement the Gambia Trade Logistics Charter, adopted and officially launched in November 2024. The Charter is meant to support the government's policy measures and modernization programs aimed at facilitating trade through the port of Banjul and all other international trade routes in the Gambia. The Charter has elaborated a detailed implementation framework and performance to support the implementation of the programs. The Trade Logistics Council was officially inaugurated on the 20th of January 2025, and it is the overseer and monitor of the implementation of the Logistics Charter to help achieve its objectives. Development of e-commerce policy and strategy. The Ministry, with support from the West African Regional Digital Integration Program, or Project WADIP, is also developing a comprehensive e-commerce policy and strategy to advance e-commerce and cross-border digital trade as part of its digital transformation agenda. This initiative aims to align with national ICT and trade policies, as well as regional and continental strategies. The policy, once completed, will contribute to enhancing the e-commerce policy environment for the development of e-commerce ecosystem in the Gambia. It will further support MSMEs' development and contribution to digital trade by reducing trade costs, enhancing the connectivity of businesses and consumers, facilitating trade, and enhancing value chain development. The Directorate of Regional Integration Programs. The Directorate of Regional Integration is responsible for the coordination of regional integration programs at the Ministry. This Directorate works with stakeholders to ensure that the Gambia fully participates and benefits from the regional integration process. The following key ECOWAS programs and activities are implemented. The National Human Capital Development Strategy 2024-2030. The Ministry has coordinated the formulation of a National Human Capital Development Strategy. The strategy, which has been aligned with both RFNDP and the ECOWAS Human Capital Development Strategy, is now completed. The Ministry is working closely with MOHAST for the official launch of the strategy for implementation to commence. ECOWAS Cross-Border Cooperation Support Program. The ECOWAS Cross-Border Support Program is a multi-sectoral development program that works with local communities in border regions to ensure social cohesion and sustainable development among its member states. The construction of the Lumo in Wellingara started in 2023, and it's now completed and awaiting its official inauguration. The Ministry intends to replicate this type of Lumo market infrastructure in other communities as part of the Ministry's Lumo modernization program. A readiness assessment under this program was conducted for 27 Lumo markets across the country. The Ministry has engaged GAMWorks to develop the design work of the Lumo market for the replication of the modern Lumo market infrastructure for the remaining 26 Lumo markets across the country. ECOWAS Fistula Program. The program in the Gambia is jointly implemented by MOTAI, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. The program consists of 4 key components: surgical repair of women and girls suffering from obstetric fistula, the socioeconomic reintegration of fistula survivors into their community, the sensitization campaign to raise awareness on the causes and prevention of obstetric fistula, and the rehabilitation of national fistula referral centers. The rehabilitation of the referral centers in Buyam and Mansa Konko are ongoing. Directorate of Industry and Investment Programs. The Directorate of Industry and Investment plays a crucial role in strengthening economic landscape. The focus of the Directorate is on supporting the development of micro, small and medium enterprises, promoting investment policy environment, and supporting industrial growth through various initiatives and policy implementation. On MSME development, the Directorate has made significant progress in supporting the development of MSMEs to drive economic growth and job creation. The Directorate is developing a digital single-window business registration system to streamline business registration, making it more efficient and accessible for entrepreneurs. This initiative aims to simplify procedures and reduce barriers to business registration. The platform is already developed, and now the ministry is working with partners on testing the platform, data migration, and hosting issues. A business perception survey. A survey of business perception was also conducted recently to assess the challenges businesses face regarding regulatory frameworks. The findings are being used to refine policies, enhance business regulation, and improve the ease of doing business in the Gambia. Continuous engagement with key institutions is being strengthened to ensure a more coordinated approach to business regulation and support. A structured roadmap has been developed to facilitate collaboration and policy alignment. On the promotion and strengthening of the investment policy environment, the Directorate has undertaken key initiatives aimed at improving the Gambia's investment climate. The GAIPA Act 2015 is being reviewed to align the investment framework with current economic trends and investor needs. The process was supported by all the relevant MDAs in the Gambia, the IMF, the World Bank, UNCTAD, ODI, and the AFCFTA Secretariat. The ministry has also established a National Business Council to strengthen collaboration with the private sector and implement reform programs to improve the business environment. We are working to streamline regulations, expand international market access, and integrate digital governance tools to enhance confidence. We are also engaging key sectors to address challenges related to land management, taxation, and trade facilitation by providing the investment policy that is in line with the current realities. To be relevant and competitive in the international space, the ministry, through the guidance support from the World Bank, conducted a national assessment and preparation of the 2025 Be Ready survey. Business Ready is the World Bank's new flagship report benchmarking the business environment and investment climate in most economies worldwide. The report assesses the regulatory framework and the public services directed at firms and the efficiency with which regulatory frameworks and public services are combined in practice. With data that are comparable across economies and over time, the Business Ready provides actionable evidence to promote reforms for a stronger private sector through the following: reform advocacy. Promote economic reforms, opening the door for knowledge sharing, policy dialogue for governments, civil society, including the private sector, the World Bank Group, and other development institutions. Policy advice. Inform specific policy advice covering a wide spectrum of areas relevant to firms, markets, and showing how much economies lag behind in good practice. Development research. support social and economic research on drivers and consequences of private sector development. On industrial development, the ministry is committed to advancing industrialization as a key pillar of economic development. We've conducted a feasibility study for the establishment of a special economic zone along the Trans-Gambia corridor to explore opportunities for boosting manufacturing and trade. This initiative is expected to attract investors and stimulate industrial activities. As a national flagship project, the goal of the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone is to support the government of the Gambia's medium to long-term economic growth and sustainable development strategy, as well as position the Gambia to compete effectively in the wider Africa continental single marketplace. To this end, Government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, in partnership with National Roads Authority, got support from the African Development Bank and ECOWAS to conduct this feasibility study on setting up a trade corridor special economic zone. The outcome of this study is positive, with an internal rate of return of 28%. The government is of the conviction that given the multimodal objective of the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone is the revival of river transport along the Gambia River, including tourism and the transportation of throughput and transit or re-export traffic. The economic assessment study, the resulting master plan and corridor development investment plan for the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone has provided a sound platform to attract both public and private sector investment to guide the development of the entire Trans-Gambia corridor, thus help achieve its full potential as another engine of growth for the Gambian economy and the sub-region. Given an open and liberalized marketplace, African economies with relative efficiencies of doing business, streamlined fiscal regime, the requisite trade logistics, and service delivery mechanisms in place to accommodate the expected surge in combined trade in goods and services within the continent, estimated to increase from 15% to 22% or higher, and as high as possibly 50% are likely to be benefits from this AFCFTA. Therefore, developing a trade logistics and special economic zone within the proposed 10-kilometer wide Trans-Gambia corridor will stretch 26 kilometers from Farafenni town or Kersuley, the Gambian border north, to Soma town, Misira, the Gambia's border south, in influence phase 1, 50 kilometers east to west span from the center line of the Trans-Gambia highway, in influence phase 2, and 100 kilometers stretching from Buyam to Bakadaji in the final influence phase 3. The Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone will be linked with the port of Banjul, 130 kilometers downstream, with multimodal connectivity infrastructure services, inland river transportation, port facilities at Bambatenda, Yilitenda, improved trunk roads networks, North-South Bank trunk roads, Senegambia Bridge, and a regional airstrip to transform the regional urban growth centers of the Farafenni and Soma as future metropolis, as economic engines for employment creation for the youth and the underemployed of this country. The ministry is thus working with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, to implement the country program. The UNIDO country program for the Gambia represents a crucial step towards fostering inclusion and sustainable industrial development, with the potential to drive economic growth, job creation, and improvements in infrastructure and social welfare. With the active participation of the government of the Gambia, UNIDO and strategic partners in this program are poised to address the nation's industrial challenges and help unlock its full economic potential. Several projects through WACOM, the West African Competition Program, have been initiated, including the construction of light testing laboratories, onion curing centers, packaging, and storage facilities. These projects enhance agribusiness development and improve food security and safety. Directorate of Employment and Labor Administration programs. The Directorate of Employment and the Department of Labor are responsible for strategic policies related to employment and labor administration. The Directorate directly works with the Department of Labor to ensure an effective labor administration in the labor market. Hence, the Ministry has updated and strengthened the Labor Act 2023 to ensure effective and complete approach to labor administration in the country. The following activities or programs are being implemented. National Employment Forum 2024. In 2024, the Directorate conducted the National Employment Forum with the objective to addressing challenges of unemployment, underemployment, and poverty in a bid to recommend sustainable employment creation opportunities for the increasing young population and challenges faced in the irregular pathways. Decentralization of job centers. The Ministry also working through the Directorate of Employment and the Department of Labor increase the regional presence of job centers across the country with technical assistance from IOM. 2 job centers have been inaugurated in KM and URR, while 3 additional centers in West Coast region, North Bank region, and LRR have been identified, and material and equipment have been procured by IOM to start them. We hope to fix the material in this quarter, and that will be followed by recruitment of officers to man the centers for its effective operation. The decentralization strategy is to ensure labor market information is available and associated services such as soft skill training, coaching, and counseling to job seekers are also easily accessible. Bilateral labor agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Ministry of Trade, Integration, or Industry, Regional Integration and Employment is also implementing the bilateral labor agreement signed with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the recruitment of domestic workers. And this process, have I done 20 minutes? You are looking at your watch. He's continually looking at his watch, and I'm scared. Sure?
Yes, of course. We are hitting 30 minutes now, is it?
Let me read faster. Okay, we can summarize. We just want to make sure we leave no detail behind. Okay, we are currently implementing, I can speak to the texts, they would kill me if I do that. 57 Gambians are currently in Saudi Arabia performing various duties. These are the unskilled labor recruits that we have dispatched, and we are hoping to graduate into the skilled labor and other aspects of the recruitment process. Memorandum of Understanding on the circular migration with the Kingdom of Spain. I'm sure there will be questions, and if I skip this one, you will ask me. The Ministry is implementing this one. We have signed with the Kingdom of Spain, and as I speak to you, we have already summarized the forms that we received, which are in excess of 10,000, and we are engaging with the Kingdom of Spain through their embassy in Dakar to ensure we shortlist and eventually select the first cohort that will go to Spain in the pilot phase, and hoping that all will go well so that we move to stage 2, which will actually require larger numbers of recruits being transported to Spain under the agreement. The Gambia Standards Bureau. The mandate of the Gambia Standards Bureau is to stabilize or standardize methods, processes, and products produced or consumed in the Gambia and for connected matters. The Bureau therefore develops standards for goods and services, undertakes scientific and industrial metrology by calibration of measurement devices and maintaining the national measurement standards, performs inspection, testing, and certification as a third-party independent service provider. The key focus areas of the Bureau are standardization, metrology, conformity assessment, the provision of testing, inspection, and the certification of services. On standardization, the Bureau has developed more than 300 national standards on priority goods and services. These standards serve as basis for guaranteeing the safety and quality of most, if not all, the exported agricultural produce from the Gambia. In order to promote the use of published standards by stakeholders from both the public and private sector, the Bureau conducts regular capacity building training for these stakeholders. Training are also conducted for food processors, who are mainly MSMEs, on the requirements of key standards for safety and quality assurance of their facilities and the products. They are trained on the standards for good hygienic practices, packaging, and halal requirements. These trainings are also extended to restaurants and hotels. The flagship training the Bureau had been particularly focused on to augment the quality of both products and services is ones. This is an important contribution to realization objective on energy efficiency and value for money on lighting products used in homes, industries, entertainment, airports, and health centers. On certification, the Bureau is in the final stages of realizing the objectives of making available a national certification body. This body is currently seeking accreditation so that the certificates it delivers to producers are recognized globally. Department of Weights and Measures. Weights and Measures Bureau was established primarily with a mandate to regulate weights and measures used in trade as per the Weights and Measures Act and the Weights and Measures rules. The objective is to ensure that measuring instruments maintain their accuracy levels according to specification in order to protect consumers from unfair trade practices. This mandate is executed through regular verification of instruments used in trade transactions, regular inspection of pre-packages, commodities, regular inspection of business facilities such as retail shops, supermarkets, warehouses, bakeries, petrol stations, regular verification of fuel dispensation pumps at fuel stations. The Ministry is also in the process of developing new legal methodology Bill 2024 to replace the Weights and Measures Act 1977. The bill was tabled at the National Assembly recently, has passed its first, second, and third reading. The bill broadens the scope of legal methodology in the country to regulate measurements in Consumer Protection Commission has made significant accomplishments in the enforcement of the Competition Act and administering the Consumer Protection Act. In 2024, the Commission obtained support from the Commonwealth Secretariat and is currently reviewing the two acts. The EU is also supporting the Commission to develop a merger regulation. This will enhance the capacity of the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to effectively enforce competition and protect consumers from unfair and misleading market practices by businesses. On the administration of consumer complaints, I'm sure the public will want to hear this. The Commission continues to promote and protect consumers from unfair and misleading market conduct and educate consumers on their rights and responsibilities. In the past 12 months alone, the GCCPC registered 68 consumer protection cases with a value of $4,780,880. More than 50% of these cases were all resolved through the GCCPC alternative dispute resolution mechanism. The ADR mechanism recovered 1.3 million for. In December 2024, the GCCPC embarked on a nationwide tour across the regions in the country to sensitize consumers and businesses on their rights and responsibilities. And the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Programs. GAIPA is mandated to promote and facilitate investment promotion and develop exports and support the establishment and expansion of micro. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable. Let me take that again. GAIPA is mandated to promote and facilitate investment, promotion, and develop export and support the establishment and expansion of micro, small, and medium enterprises or medium-sized enterprises in the Gambia, as well as advocating for policy change towards improving the country's business environment. The agency has undertaken significant activities and achieved key targets within the past 12 months regarding investment promotion and facilitation, export promotion and facilitation, and support to MSMEs. The agency over the period has also been advocating for an effective business environment through direct engagement with policy and development actors across ministries, directorates, or departments and agencies. Key in its advocacy strides is the periodic tabling of concerns to the business community at the National Economic Council, chaired by His Excellency the President of the Republic, His Excellency Adam Barrow. On investment promotion and facilitation, Investment Incentive Awards Committee held 4 meetings during the course of 2024 and made recommendations for the approval of 9 manufacturing companies, 2 in agriculture, 2 in tourism, and 1 in other services projects with an estimated total investment value of $114 million and a planned employment for 2,455. On export and enterprise development, GAIPA provides support to MSMEs at various levels of the business life cycle through capacity building initiatives and training. The agency is currently developing a regulation for the operationalization of the Enterprise Development Fund to provide support to MSMEs. The draft regulation from the consultant was presented and approved by the board and reviewed and validated in December 2024 by stakeholders. Finally, I'm on the last page, Doctor. Through support from the Belgian development agency, Enabel, the construction of GAIPA's platform in Genoa is now completed. The agency's Genoa market platform was handed over by Enabel and GAIPA to Tropingo Company Limited as the operator for the platform. Installing equipment at the platform, and we expect the operator to commence operations very soon. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Summarize briefly 2-3 minutes about what you've listed.
Hope you are very, very serious about the serial one. I can do serial. In Wolof, okay. Ñu ngi nuyu mbokk yi di jégalu wax bi yàgg na kaddu bi gudda na waaye I can try. Li waral wax ju bari ji mooy dañu en bu diis. Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. So demee si yeneen réew ñeneenti ministre ñoo amee ñun liñ yore. So kon nag suñ taxawee pour jàkkaarloo ak réew mi waxtaan ak yéen wax leen li ñoo def dafa war a jël time. moo tax li ma dog si kayit bi moo ëpp li ma wax. liñ fee def mooy pour ñu jéem koo tënka man nag duma Alaaji Modou Joof moom su fi ñëwoon xam naa dina ko def mu gën a régler waaye liñ bugg a wone rek mooy si wàllum njula ñun la nguur gi sas pour ñu ensure mooy ñu taxaw si ne diggante jula yi ñoomi neen mu ratax diggante jula yi ak nguur gi ñu am relationship bu ratax bu boobaa njula bi mun a jaar yoon ku jóg uti marchandise war a njëfandu si marché bi nga mun koo am si lu yomba njëlbeen bi mooy mu am soo soxlee maalo soo duggee si bitik fekk ko fa ñaareel bi mooy ñu gis ne liñ leen a feeku si bitik yi jaar na yoon loolu di nga si am ay xelaat yu utee waaye niñ see mun a def yépp ñu ngi koo def pour ensure ne loolu am na si wàllu développement pour yokkute industrie si réew boo dem moo dee liggéey ak private sector moo dee liggéey ak borom xaalis yi liggéey ak nguur gi moo tax ñun yenay dañu dee ooye ministry of private sector te ñu kontaan lool si loolu parce que ñun ñooy liggéey ak private sector bi benn Gambien si ak ñi demut Gambia am seen alal jóg ñoo ne dañoo seet Gambien si liñ soxla ñu dugal seen alal si loolu directorate of industry ñoo leen di dalal ñoom ñoo dee liggéey ak GAIPA Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency pour dalal leen kayit yi ñu mun see jot kayit yi ñu soxla pour def fi njula wala pour defaree fi dara wala pour produce fi dara mooy béy fi dara mu meñña ñu jaay ko fi war a ñu génnee ko yóbbu ko bitim réew département boobu moo ko yore nga am beneen département boo xam ne jokkalante suñ diggante ak suñ dëkkandoor yi suñ diggante Sénégal suñ diggante Guinée Bissau suñ diggante Mali Guinée Conakry Sierra Leone fii ba Afrique yëpp daj ñun ñoo yore loolu te xam nga ne loolu tam beneen challenge la boo xam ne saa yi nekk ñu ngee toog ñu ne la am na troc yu can fële am na lu xew fële ñu ngeen jóg régler loolu wax soo yooyu yëpp ñun ñoo ko yore boobu tam am na département yu nekk si loolu wàllu ensure ne nguur gi seen employment yëpp mu ngi amee public service waaye ñun ñoo amee wàllum régler employment labor matters ñun ñoo ko amee moo tax ñu am commission of labor foofu ñi jotee ak seen liggéeykat foofu la commission bi nekk pour àtte seen diggante suñ mënul si mbir mi dara ñu door koo jàllale si yeneen koot yi soo loolu itam ministre yi moo ko amee nga ñëw si yeneen yi soo ñëwee trade yi nga dut gis competition commission ak consumer protection agency ñun ñoo leen yore comme ni ñu yoree GAIPA ñun ñoo yore measures soo demee si marché bi di jënda diwlin ñu gis ne dañ def sondeel si pot bi suma gars yi ñoo war a gis loolu jëflante ak waajooju di def loolu war a ndaw soosi di def loolu ñun ñoo yore tam standards bureau si njaay ak njëndante pot boobu sax standards bureau ñooy ensure ne pot boobu dafa am nu mu war a toolu dafa war a am nu mu war a enu soo ko dugalee si saaku maalo dafa war a am quantité bu mu war a génnee standards bureau ñooy ensure ne loolu dafa am léegi ñu ngi ko bugg a yaatal mu dem ba si lopitaan yi si court case yi da ngeen a dégg ne jàpp nañ drogues dem nañ testi ko Dakar yooyu yëpp ñu ngi koo jéem a fanxa léegi because ñoom ñu ngi set up standards si labs yaa ngi ñu ngi leen a develop bu boobaa métrologie bill bi ñoo yóbbu National Assembly daan dinañu jox doole pour loolu yëpp ñu mun koo régler météorologie boobu yëpp nañ ko mën a handul so kon lii ministre bu yaatu liggéeykat yi bariwuñ yaakaar nañ ne dinañ gën a am reinforcement waaye lii mooy mandate bi ñu jox docteur.
jërëjëf.
Thank you.
jërëjëf honorable minister Baboucarr Ousmala Joof kaddu yi rafet nañ waxtaan bi neex na seen liggéey rafet na xam naa ne tey am na ñi nga leen fi ici mooy pour ñam spin circular migration bi MANSA apply na xaw ma la dina am ndax duma am waaye apply na daal jox naa la suma application bi mbaa paas nga ko gars yi waaw baax na am na ñi nga xam ne tamit tey luñ laa bëgg a la mooy dund bi ñu bari ne dund bi cher na ndax cher te dina leer lu tam mu cher ak yan pexe ngeen nekk di def pour ñu gis na dund ngi wàññeeku te boobu tamit xam naa ñu bari fii waa Touré Kunda ak waa Camara ñoom lu rek moo leen fi isi tey parce que ñoom lu ñoo xalaat rek mooy lekk léegi lu ma def mooy sa naataango yi di ko commencé pièce man nag bëggatuma di nga angale nag fu mu toll nii di nga na angale yu bari léegi pièce suma xarit bi standards bureau yéen ñëpp laaka boo leen gën a comfortable ngeen a laaka wañu seen tur na la mee ko nekk parce que seen ministre jël na seen time bi yëpp fu mu toll nii time bi askan boobu lañ nekk di lekka nii na la mee ko nekk 2-3 minutes max tur santa yow looy liggéey ak si ban kuréel nga nekk ak tuuti rek nga wax ñu askan bi waaw pièce ñu commencé ko yow thank you.
Assalamualaikum, man maa ngi tudd Mod Eke Seka man maa nekk permanent secretary si Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment. Comme ni ko suma ministre waxee man suma responsibility mooy mbooloom programme ak policy yi nga xam ne mooy war a comme xalaat yi nga xam ne mooy war a doxal jula bi mbiri utal xale yi xëy ak yëpp ñun ñoo ko man suma responsibility la pour ma make sure ne loolu jaar na si yoon te yeneen département su nekk suma roon yëpp ñoom it loolu seen ñoom ñoomaa dimbale si loolu pour make sure ne loolu xew waxi ministre bi man li ma si bëggoon a yokk rek tuuti mooy am nañ benn projet boo xam ne projet bu ees la si ministre bi toll na si level boo xam ne fi mu nekk nii xalaat nañ ko ba pare moom announce na wax na result si study jàngat buñ doon jàngat si projet boobu waaye li ma si bëgg a wax rek mooy projet bi am na solo boo xam ne Gambien si ñëpp ñoo si war a taxaw pour make sure ne mu xew mooy di special economic zone bi lu ko tax a jóg mooy dañoo dem boori Farafenni area ñu jël fa laan bu rëy def fa ay place dog ay place boo xam ne compagnie bu nekk soo bugg a ñëw Gambia nga liggéey fi yokka fi sa business wala nga bugg a yokka comme suñ gerte bi nga bugg a ko process def ko comme diwli nag yooyu anything lu nga xam ne dafa yokk value bi of li ñoo am ak product si ñoo li jaay ak jënd si dëkk bi di nga ko fa mën a defaree te loolu mooy li gën a am solo léegi fu ñu toll si projet boobu mooy jàngat nañ ko ba pare fi mu nekk ni ñu ngi dem pour ut xaalis la yooyu noonu yëpp ñu ngi ko finalize su paree incha allah dina nekk njëriñ pour dëkk bi yëpp waaw.
Assalamualaikum askanu Gambia maa ngi leen di nuyu yéen ñëpp man maa ngi tudd Papa Seka man maa jiite mbootaay bi nga xam ne nguur gi mu ngi ko taxawal tuddee ko the Gambia Standards Bureau. The Gambia Standards Bureau nag nguur gaa ngi ko taxawal 2010 bi nga xamee ne génne na loi bi nga xam ne si la sukkandiku ba mun a taxaw mooy the Gambia Standards Bureau Act 2010. bureau bi nag mu ngi door liggéeyam 2011 si ak boobu noonu li nguur gi sas bureau bi ak li tax mu taxawal bureau bi mooy balaa 2010 bari woon na lu bari loo xam ne ñiy liggéey ci biir Gambia ñiy bay di jëmbat di ko jëfandikoo fii si réew mi wala di ko jaay bitim réew ak industrie yi nga xam ne ñu ngi taxaw ni ko honorable ministre waxee pour dugal seen xaalis liggéey ay jumtuwaay yoo xam ne waa réew waa ngi ko soxla wala ñu ngi koo jaay bitim réew yooyu yëpp soxla woon neen li nga xam ne moo ko tëral moom la ñoo wax standards jumtuwaay boo gis boo xam ne defar neen ko wala mbéyteef boo gis bu génnee nga war koo jëfandikoo war naa wóor war naa sell te du la lor léegi nag pour loolu am àddina bi yëpp ku si nekk mu ngi ko doon xelaat waaye buñ toogee àddina yëpp ku si nekk ne lii laa sukkandiku ba mun a jot lii kii ne lii laa sukkandiku ba mun a jot lii si mbootaay àddina bi ñëpp buñ jokkooyee si leen déggoo am lu ñoo wax international standards yooyu nag réew yi yëpp si bokka léegi mun nga koo nationalize sa biir réew su ko defee jumtuwaay yooyu tamit nga mun a am yu wóor ok après man maa ngi door rek de ok let me just summarize 2 more 1 minute sometimes pour nga wax ko si wolof dina jël time tuuti nit ñi mun ko understand dafa technical trop li nga xam ne tamit amut woon ci réew mi li ñoo wax measurement system nattuwaay boo gis wala looy war a nata mu diis wala nattuwaay boo xam ne dafaa jël dara moom itamit li ngi sukkandikoo àddina bi yëpp suñ ne 1 kilo ñëpp si d'accord kilo boobu nag àddina bi ñi ko defeer muy standard bi war nga koo indi ci biir réew pour ñu mun a déggoo lu mooy ak loolu doo mun a jaay ak jëmbante loolu tamit amutoon
su ma la understandé mooy suñ ne saaku maalo 50 kilos la yéen ay saytu ngeen make sure ne 50 kilos moo fa nekk.
waaw léegi
ndax
non ñaari mbir moo fa nekk
waaw
xam nga ki nga xam ne mooy bay maalo bi wala ki ko indi bitim réew bu ko indee ba pare peese waaye bi mu ko peesee si place am moom pour nga xam ne peese waay boobu dina natt bi wér Gambia Standards Bureau ñoo dee def lu ñoo wax calibration boobu mooy linkage bu maa wax bi di international measurement system waaye nguur gi tamit dafa taxawal mbootaay boo xam ne léegi si marché yi jaay diggante jaaykat bi ak jëndkat bi kanaay réglé ne boo ne lii benn litre la wala lii benn kilo la ndax mun na ko beneen mbootaay mooy def loolu parce que diggante jaaykat la ak jëndkat waaw mooy weights and measures waaw loolu amoon
léegi su ma demee jëndi essence ma ne gars yi ma 50 litres naka laay ensure ne 50 litres bi loolu dugal sama moto bi
ni nga xamee ne loolu war naa wéer mooy ne nguur gi daf la protect yow maanaam nguur gi dafa jël sas boobu noonu moo tax mu jox doole weights and measures ñoom ñooy dem di seet te waxtu ñoo ñëw seet laajut pour nga wax leen ñu ñëw or not waaye ñun léegi fi mu fa am dat linkage mooy ki nga xam ne mooy jaay si essence série bi moom lu waa wax na ko ne soo ne benn litre dafa war a mut benn litre léegi naka war a def ba machine am bi di sotti litre waxtu wi ñu ko soxlaa ñun la moo oo ñu calibré ko waaye nag ñi ñooy seet ne xam nga si diggante bi mën nga koo laal mën nga koo tampa mën ngaa sàcca so weights and measures mooy ñëw waxtu wu ko neexee teg natuwaayam natuwaay boobu tamit ñun ñoo ko réglé ak ñoom teg natuwaayam boo xam ne mun na 1 litre seet jërëjëf thank you.
Assalamualaikum askan bi man maay Basiru Njie maay jiite Gambia Competition ak Consumer Protection Commission suñ liggéey ñetta la benn bi mooy am nañ luwa buy seetu lu jongante si business yi business yi nu ñoo compété boobu loi boobu am nañ ko depuis 2007 def foog naa si West Africa yëpp Gambia ñooy first dëkka pour ñu am loi bii nii Independent Competition Authority parce que soo ko seetloo ay dëkka yu bëri comme ay Nigeria ay 5 years ago nañ set up te ñëwoon nañ fii sa study tour pour jàngal nu ñuy def loi bi lu tax mu am solo mooy dëkka bi amut price control ba pare dañ bëgg a am free economy moo miin ne foog tamit mu am loi buy seet naka na ñoo doxalee business yi duñ mun a ñëw pour am ay agreement yoo xam ne dafa lor askan bi wala benn business du mun a am benn façon doole boo xam ne tamit dafa lor askan bi comme di def ay jéego yoo xam ne yeneen business yi suñ bëggee dugga si marché bi sax duñ si mun a dugga so si loolu na ñooy liggéey ba pare dañoo am nañ si competition bi dañ leen mun a def lu ñuy wax policy advice comme nguur yi suñ bëggee jël yenn fànn yoo xam ne dafa lor askan bi wala lor yenn business ñun suñ loi la pour mun nañoo xelal nguur bi te dañ koy def lu bari def suñ study xelal nguur bi ne comme loo leen bëgg a def nii wala loo leen def ba pare mu ngi am isi jafe-jafe yi nii daal ak dañooy def lu ñuy awee market studies foog naa si ak investigation when suñ amee ay complaint daal beneen bi mooy yëfi consumer yi mooy askan bi comme balaa lii consumer protection amoon na si ay loi yu bari comme di nga am ay pura am na ay comme waaye ñun suñ loi bi moo ñëw consolidate moo nekk pour ñun marché yëpp la comme complaint boo mun a am di nga mun a ñëw si commission bi parce que secteur régulateur yu bari comme soo demee complaint sax ñoom dinañ mun a fine business bi waaye yow jëndakat bi doo si mun a am dara ñun ñoo amee lu ñu wax consumer protection tribunal bi askan boo xam ne mun na am kenn def na la dara nga bëgg a suu business wala yooyu noonu da ngaa ñëw.
daanaka daal ma dem si kapaak bi ma jënd moto mu ne ma ne moto bi garanti naa ko am na waranti baax na ma dawal ko benn fan ñaari fa moto bi yaaxu mu ne du ma delloo suma xaalis yéen laa ñëw ndax noonu la.
waaw yooyu dañoo gën a bari la sax yëfi delloo bagage parce que ñu bari dañoo da ngaa dem si bitik yu bari supermarket yi sax ñu ngi la wax bagage soo ko jëndee su rombee benn fan doo ko mun a delloo. te ñu bari sax dañuy foog ne loi la soo yooyu nag lay gën a am soo ñu ngi def sensitisation di gën a
loolu du loi mun naa koo delloo
mun nga koo delloo su fekkee
ma dem Karaba Avenue si bitik ma jënd radio
waaw
bu ees si carton ma ñëw kër suba rek mu buloo
waaw
mun naa koo delloo ñu delloo ma suma xaalis
waaw mun nga koo delloo foofu jafe-jafe mi rek mooy tamit yéenay tamit lu ñu lay advice jëndkat yi tam mooy bala ngaa jënd bagage demal nga seet bitik yi nga seet lu la gënal parce que yéenay tam jëndkat yi lu ñuy def mooy bitik boo njëkk a gis nga jënd fa dara nga demaat gannaaw ëllëg nga gis bagage bu gën a yomba nga boo koo delloo ne bii dafa am problème parce que understand nga te loolu moom loi bi sax nangu ko moom moo tax dafaa ne consumer da nga war responsible bala nga jënd bagage seetal nga test ba nga loo xam loo bëgga waaye doo mun a de da ngaa delloo rek parce que da nga gis lu gën a yomba.
soo léegi yéen a dem protect consumers yi.
waaw
kam moo dem protect jaaykat yi nag.
jaaykat yi moo tax ma ne ñun suñu liggéey competition bi mooy protect jaaykat yi parce que jaaykat boo xam ne dafa def benn jéego boo xam ne dafa block ñeneen ñuy dugga si ñun ngay ñëw kat yoo xam ne dañ ñëw complot pour sonal beneen business si ñun ngay ñëw wala jaaykat boo xam ne dafa am doole ba uppa ba nga xam ne nit yi suñ bëggee dugga sax mun naa wàññi prix am bi ba mu wàcca ba ñëpp génna yooyu ñëpp si ñun ngay ñëw. waaw
boo leer na dañu ñëwaat si yow.
ok
ñu dem to di final.
ok salaamaaleykum. waaw. Nde Tom Ousmane Sanalti, Principal Labour Officer, Department of Labour. Nde responsible ta Public Employment Service la. Department of Labour nde responsible ta kaje ko dogula momo la nyanto tara lori nyo kana soso kana nyofa doku tiyo kana dogula nakari and dogula falan kana doku tiyo nakari. Ndola lok mom waldi. Na department sabal soteje kilindo wala mu labor inspection di. Labor inspection wala ñindi ko na inspector kata wala kata murmuro la kata doku dulal kaje ko doku dulal doku loi melandi abe tamaka comme labor acte doku loi abe tamaka nyama comme ka me compliance so wala ko woke dula fala occupational safety and health monitor kaje ko doku dulal molla health and safety etara number one priority kaje ko min ko doku dulal anyanta safe la because safety is number one. Whatever you do, safety kumara bakere. wala ko fenga andi to la falanka make so kaje ko injuries compensation comme ni be do ko kono e bodo su ko ne bita do kudla e fra do kudla do ko kono e jita do ko le be sela fo jani be fra su kono ni accident so be silo kan to la ka process kaje ko ye compensate e to la falanka make so kaje ko dinno ka me challe bo ka monitor do kudla kaje ko dinno kana ta do kudla me yalon ko ay la sanjo mang sanji tanni seyo si na department do so do ka me industrial
jandi beta ay be jam falaji ñing di ngi kol akumata bakke nga kacha me alon ka sango man sanji tanni seyo si manyana ka do ko ke bo atulun ka apprenti je le dolbe sanji tanni fulan ka fital je le sanji tanni saba alka mu ne ko ko to dum
ay yalla ka fungo bi jele ka me light work bijele me alon ko but conditional flambola because light work wala ñi to ka mari si do ko kenole but amanyana dogo kala comme ko full db doku amanyana dogo kala ko suro and amanyana dogo kala conditional men fala ko is hazardous comme ko amon koy amon safe so will be so wala nek light work allowed because what is in line with one of the ILO convention me alon ko na ratify so ni nada in la wala ñindi ko to la responsible complain la e doku la karo fayla boss mejo ya papri holde doku a mejo e ñandata li fola balanta onda ay bay doku wala yaaje ko ay bay ñama ni loi manta to lako complain olta an kaje ko no mata ni na resolve ni ma resolve no falang de na mata ni rifa industrial tribunal na unit do falang so ka me employment service wala nyinti ko ka do ko til ni do ko nyinal ke chake ka me job matching maybe do ko nyinal ke register ka do ko til falang mela so do ko la ko fa register kaje ko ke match ko ke nka fengo fa ke career guidance
aboko be ning lafta do ko wala mina tol yala nga faale munen tala mi codi nga mo karang
exactly
ale mo nyine nyalon ko fambe sulan tala mi codi ala en ka fundi nyoka
exactly
wala din kirabe mbulon ka molta do ko wala ngana ale an ko dem be nyil sif mo nyin sif métier sifa nyine kan ala mo ala fina nyal ka wala ke
ngol ga and the service is free
okay mo bu ka fenjoje okay
it's absolutely free 100% free
wodron de pare da fo
hani flatu daje
okay
nka fengo falanke career guidance and counseling because naje comme like dinul falambije ni ka karambu bang so jama bije pour ka dijono me ka ko lebulu so they need guidance do bije ka issue solo me ala ko they need guidance so ko falang guide and donc advisory service falanke because ko mo yakata dogudla aka problem so dogudla maybe after resign or after contract ko terminate la barama idea so ba start la nyaadile so ko falang service ko provide wol falaliye employers will falang sometimes ikala fi reorganization kala ikala fi redundancy kala but malo loyal landi nyaadile and they ma access to loyal to so gaje they can get guide and advice based on what the labor law says
sabu ko bi nimbe du ko la dulato ngado ke je sanji saba sanji fola sanji na wulta sama do yembay nga nyanto so le fonde
ya nyanto so
konsinali ya prato le yamar mu nenta la nyantoti
exactly
wala ka wala ke
ko advice service okay and do be free le
okay
ka fungo fala monitor ka me labor mobility and labor migration so coming ka sanding currently ka lansino di mo la mela
la murna nan bawo nga na mo la time ota bakele minute killing drombol di la gay pala just 1 minute mo den gapati alka mo ke wrong then we go to the public now please
okay
no I think already minister one about with some measures please
okay assalamu alaikum dr nge konto honorable minister trade konto aning nañol men baby ja ndeto mohammed jawarlati senior manager investment promotion and facilitation gaipa yo comme minister afala banque kono nyame gaipa wolo masakunda la bundati membe loring masakunda fang aning business la tema yo ni salamu amuntan telo misaloti masakunda aning business la tema na doku bulo abe fanna nalela follow wolo investment promotion and facilitation ka make sure many yalan ko be pare din jula la biring banko din fo men yalan ko bantalan kolom si slow wala nyame pour isina isi la business o keno banko kan yo flanya wolo minde ko export comme safara final men yalan ke do kuja isi bono gambia nyame kata bantala o bunda fana bije sabanya wolo business ndil men yalan ko bulo mo ye ko be mbake nol fana ka do ko kala nin nanin jam wolom ka gambia fon la flako wulendi santo pour nyin kamala business lali isi wakino nyame pour kana kala do ko kiyam yo nana rola memo investment kamen ka wolom nyindi ko nka kidimandol kele komi kata bankol kan tare anim banko fan kan jang ka mol wakil nde pour isi la kodo bondi ka dundi business o kuna ka do abe makoro kala
pour que banko dingta do kola an nyin kamala kana economy fanan ka iriwande yo kono masa kunda kamengo wala min ka jusnya bi fangla di business wala mesi wakele no nka wala for physical incentives wo physical incentives mo monete wala mo follow ni be la do ko joran bandla na bantala kenati inyanta juti men jola poroto masa kunda ko ayam fata wotole membe ta fo sanji lulu fo sanji sai yo nanata VAT wala import VAT value added tax o fana masa kunda kayam fo fanan tole sabanya wala mundu wala corporation tax e ka namo menjo ila profito kono fana masa kunda kayam fo wotole nyimbe pour que sawarindi isi wakili nyamen kala business o sawatindi banko ka munta nyino bunda tin kamenta man
abarka kumata bake before nga bunda la pour nyinin karo reke yale kuma fojang about the free trade zone in Soma. Huh? Can we get the video to have a glimpse of it? Because it's very transformative. Abe Gambia economy fali na baka le pu banko dingo la jabi mundo kusi fala je. Okay, I'll come for it.
National Development Plan emphasised the need of private sector development as the engine of growth. The Gambia government, having its ambitious plan of developing the Trans-Gambia corridor, has initiated the development of trade infrastructure and special economic zone with the three major objectives. Economic impact assessment is categorized into primary, secondary, tertiary and extended catchment areas, which encompasses the entire Gambia, and ensuring balanced industrialization and economic development of the nation. The Trans-Gambia corridor, a 26-kilometre stretch from Farafenni in the north to Masira in the south, crosses the Gambia River via the Senegambia Bridge, serving as a strategic trade link in the centre of the Gambia. The special economic zone site is strategically located in Soma along the Trans-Gambia corridor on either side at 1.5 kilometres from the Masira border post to leverage the existing social and commercial infrastructure. Parcel A comprises the agriculture and other manufacturing zones, featuring seamless compatibility and shared infrastructure, while Parcel B includes the social, commercial, community, training and capacity building zones, with provisions for future development. The prioritised value chains and sectors for processing in the Trans-Gambia Corridor Special Economic Zone aligns well with the strategies, policies and development plans of the Gambia's government and relevant line ministries, apart from consideration for import substitution and export enhancing activities. The prioritised sector for processing includes light engineering and construction material processing zone, cereals, pulses and oilseeds, fruits, vegetables and tubers, processing zone, agroforestry and other agro products, processing zone, livestock processing zone, general manufacturing zone, including apparel, automotive, chemical and pharma and others, fisheries processing zone, dairy products processing zone, specialised infrastructure, agricultural transformation centre, utility zone, non-processing zones. The zones within the special economic zone have been meticulously configured to leverage the Gambia's opportunities and core strengths. Inclusiveness is ensured with provisions for accommodating micro, mini, small, women entrepreneurs, first-generation promoters, medium enterprises, large-scale manufacturing industry, along with its ancillary, byproduct manufacturing, value-added processing units. Various options ensured with plotted developments, one-time long lease or monthly rentals or ready-built, plug-and-play facilities and multi-tenanted buildings or PPBs, based on individual sector potential and preferences. The master plan offers a flexible and modular approach, adapting to the site's topography while ensuring ease of implementation, minimal environmental impact, and cost optimized during both the implementation and operational phases. The detailed components of the master plan are water treatment plant, overhead tank, logistics zone, truck maintenance depot and fuel station, light engineering and construction material processing zone, cereals, pulses and oil seeds processing zone, specialized infrastructure, fruits, vegetable and tubers processing zone, agroforestry and other agro-products processing zone, dairy products processing zone, general manufacturing zone and other industries zone, livestock processing zone, sewage treatment plant, solid waste management / summer storage tank, agricultural transformation center, substation, residential zone, social and public amenities zone, demo farms, training, research and development zone, future expansion zone, collection and pre-processing centers, fish aggregation centers are located at strategic locations to collect the produced commodities from the rural catchment areas, ensuring sustained supply of raw materials to the special economic zone in terms of quality and quantity. A GIS-based spatial development master plan for the primary influence zone of TGC is prepared, highlighting the proposed components and projects envisioned for development within the 50 by 26 kilometre stretch. The Spatial Development Master Plan considers the existing context, land suitability, connectivity, and environmentally sensitive areas. The plan is phased with an initial focus on economic development through the TGC SEZ as the anchor project, followed by social, commercial, and community development, and later the creation of tourism and eco-recreational zones alongside enabling infrastructure with an emphasis on sustainable transportation solutions, including the proposal of a second airport in the Gambia. The project aims to offer a progressive business environment with diverse, investor-friendly opportunities. Once the comprehensive Trans-Gambia Corridor Development Plan is put into action, it is anticipated to generate 600